what I would do if I had to lose 30 pounds again. It took me about 5 months to lose 30 pounds, in which I did it in, for me, probably the healthiest way that I've seen. I've worked with hundreds of people over the last 12 years, receive their own transformation. This is both from online coaching and in-person coaching. In-person coaching, I've trained professional athletes, celebrities, and everyday real people that are just trying to see a change in their life physically, emotionally, and mentally. The first thing I want to cover is the scale. The scale is something that I see a lot of coaches messing up with their clientele on, because a lot of individuals deal with stuff that is much deeper than just a mental decision to lose weight, change their diet. It has to do with a deep core emotional trauma that has to do potentially from their childhood or young adulthood. People that deal with certain words that I'm not going to say here on social media, revolving around older individuals doing something to them, that can be a cause for obesity. There can be obviously diseases. There can be other emotional cycles that take place, like depression and panic attacks and stuff like that. So one of the things that I really hone in on, tailored to the client specifically that deals with this type of stuff, in which you as a trainer, if you're listening, should have the knowledge about it from the consultation that you have with the client. So if that's you, if you're somebody that deals with deep emotional challenges, and that could be the reason why you actually have excess fat, and that you really, really struggle to get out of a cycle of exercising, then non-exercising, eating healthy, then not eating healthy, this is for you. I typically have my clients send me one set of photos and one photo of them on a scale every month, not day, not week. If you're competing in bodybuilding, I understand this is different and this is not for you. But if you're somebody just looking for a transformation, my experience is that you should be looking at a month to month, jumping on a scale in the same location, same time of day, same day of the week, once a month. That is going to be a healthy median for you to decide how that last month went, what can change. Now, if you're a little bit less emotionally tied to all of it, then up it to one time a week. What I see with every day is definitely over 20 to 30% of my clients, when they did daily check-ins with their weight in the morning right after they use the restroom and jumping on a scale, if their weight is off a little bit, their emotions would be destroyed that day, thus propelling them into an overeating cycle, launching them back into anxiety and depression, or vice versa, and then launching them back into not caring and not exercising. So that's number one. If I had to lose 30 pounds over again, I would make sure once a month I would do it, just because I'm actually somebody that dealt with looking myself in the mirror versus the scale. I would be looking at myself in the mirror, think horrible thoughts, and then that would aggravate another cycle that would deprive me of seeing change. And that's one reason it took 5 months for me. Now, that is also, to me, the healthiest amount of time it took to lose that weight, because I was maintaining my muscle mass, which I'm at now. I used to be 250, now I'm 220 pounds. The second thing I want to talk about is not starving yourself. A lot of coaches will go to the extreme and tell you to starve yourself and to be in a caloric deficit for the majority of the time while you're in this weight loss journey. The reality is that you need to be able to keep up with your life. If you have children, a wife, a husband, if you have a 9-to-5 job, if you're still in school, whatever it may be, you need to keep up with that life. And if you're in a deficit, your body can step into a fight or flight situation, and you'll receive the symptoms of that, thus the adrenaline dumping daily. And you don't want that, because it can cause fogginess, it can cause lack of sleep, quality of sleep specifically, and it can cause a lot of other negative symptoms like dropping testosterone in men. So that's something that I recommend to a lot of people, is making sure to not try to do it ASAP, but do it in a healthy way that's realistic for your custom life because every individual has a different set of circumstances given to them, both by God with birth and that they have created for themselves throughout the rest of their life, their lived life. So we want to make sure that you're not starving yourself and that you are in a caloric deficit a few days a week at least, but that you're training right, you're eating healthy and eating whole foods and just changing the way that you do life in a holistic way rather than a super aggravated fasting 16 hours of the day, only eating 8 hours of the day. That's something that has worked for some people. The majority of people, I don't see it working well. And the last thing that I want to cover, part 3 of this, is do not overtrain. Tons of people, tons of coaches say you need way over 10,000 steps every single day. They say you need to be working out every day. That's nonsense. If you're a 9-to-5er, if you own your own business, if you're not somebody who makes money through how your body looks like myself through online fitness coaching, it's probably not realistic to get into the gym, 7 to 15 hours a week. That's not too realistic. If you have a business and a family with kids, it's extremely not realistic. So making sure to really hit the gym hard, lowering the amount of set break time that you have can be something that you don't even need to do cardio, because if your heart rate is up for an hour and 15 minutes through an entire workout, because you're lowering the amount of rest time in between each set, you're doing more functional fitness, which is what I recommend for individuals that are not training to be a pro bodybuilder, a pro sport athlete, or anything like that. And that doesn't mean CrossFit. I don't mean CrossFit when I say functional fitness or high rocks. I just mean incorporating full body exercises that help your body strengthen itself so that whatever life throws at you, you can take it on with vigor and capability physically. So those are the 3 things. Identifying how often to be on a scale. Number 2, making sure to not starve yourself. And number 3, do not overtrain. If I had to look back at losing 30 pounds over the course of about 5 months, those are the 3 things that I would hone in on more for myself and any of my clients that I've worked with. That's what I try to hone in on with them. So if this has been helpful to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you at the next one on next Tuesday. See you guys.